Hello everyone, Ray here. Alongside the HTC U Ultra, they actually launched a similarly designed, but more reasonably sized and affordable mid-ranger, the U Play. Is it a phone that can compete with Samsung's A series? Let's have a look. As a long-term user of the HTC U Ultra, I have to say the U Play looks and feels exactly the same. The same metal and glass design, but back to the normal 5.2 inches one-hand manageable size. If we compare this to the U Ultra, you will find it's like a toy. So tiny. Yet the sapphire blue color shines and attracts our eyeballs like nothing else. But thankfully, we do have the same gorgeous color option for the U Play. Meanwhile, HTC's given the U Play the same sophisticated liquid glass finish on the back. Even the white one we have here is not exactly solid white. It's actually got a pearlescent finish that refracts light. Gorgeous. The key is, you're right, the white glass back might not be the best looking color among the four, but it certainly does the best job in hiding the fingerprint and smudges. Also, we have the same 3D curved glass back design. Together with a smaller footprint, it sits really smooth and comfortably in hands. If the Galaxy A series from Samsung shares the same design language as the last generation S series, with comparable build quality, the U Play shares exactly the same design, with the same level of build quality as HTC's current flagship. The best example is how smooth and seamless the glass back meets the metal frame. The absence of a plastic frame definitely makes it much less industrial, but delicate, made for you instead. The power button with a distinct texture, even the exceptionally strong feedback are identical to the U Ultra. It is actually even stronger than mainstream flagships, the P10 Plus from Huawei and the Pixel as well. The same unique and stylish bump around the USB ports also here. Unfortunately, the camera hump's also here, but slightly less aggressive than the U Ultra, while keeping the essential optical image stabilization module. The crazy, humongous bezels from 2015 are also here, but due to the smaller 5.2 inches footprint, one-hand operation should not be a problem. The navigation buttons in the meantime are still placed in weird, unbalanced positions, but less obvious than its bigger brother. However, it is a mid-ranger, so acceptable. Hardware-wise, the U Play shares the same button layout as the U Ultra, but with an exactly opposite arrangement. On the top side, despite the 64 gigs of storage on a mid-ranger, we have a microSD card slot for expandable storage, and it can be used as a second SIM tray if it's needed. Down to the bottom side, we have a USB Type-C port with USB on-the-go support, and one of the two microphones. The microphones once again amazed me. A little bit weak in bass, and it's not as high-res as the HTC U Ultra, but it's fine, you are not using it to produce high-res audio or voice-over professional movies anyway. The NFC chip on the back and an LED notification light right next to the earpiece are also small details that some of its competitors lack. While the snappy and responsive fingerprint sensors also worth our applause, almost as quick as the U Ultra. Still, it's not flawless for sure, like for instance it lacks the iconic HTC Boom Sound dual speaker setup, and it also lacks a 3.5mm headphone jack, which is rare, especially on mid-rangers. The HTC official converter with a dedicated 24-bit hi-fi deck inside does give amazing audio quality, but you simply cannot charge your phone while listening to music, unless you favor wireless but not necessarily lossless Bluetooth headsets anyway. So overall, as a mid-ranger, it packs all the essential components we need, but the lack of a dual speaker setup and a headphone jack, close to perfect. Okay, let's check out the features and performance. The U Play actually shares the same software, not the U Ultra, but the HTC 10 packs. It is based on the outdated Android 6.0, with light modification and optimization over stock Android via HTC Sense. It is indeed based on the outdated version of Android. However, as we've concluded last time on the review of the U Ultra, HTC Sense in 2017 is basically more or less the same as the previous version, which is the one here. So we still have all the motion gestures, including double tap to wake and sleep, my favorite. Slide to the left and right to trigger the respective shortcut feature, and oh yes, slide downwards twice to fire up the camera. HTC Sense, also the most customizable user interface out there. Of course, we have tons of themes to choose with, but those are based on the classic, constrained and old-fashioned template. The freestyle themes are the real deal. Apart from the adorable Mario theme we've checked out last time, this simplistic, futuristic theme is also my favorite. Oh, and all the icons are movable, I mean completely free to rearrange without boundaries. The interesting one though is the HTC Sense Companion AI feature. Glad to see HTC's implementation of its latest AI system on this mid-ranger. Android 6.0 also means the lack of some of the newly added features on Android 7.0, like multi-window, but on a 5.2 inches display it won't be a deal breaker. Here we've come to the performance. Although it runs Android 6.0 with mid-range specifications, it delivers respectable smoothness in day-to-day navigation. At least the transition animations do not have any sort of stuttering or lagging issues. Meanwhile, the Uplay is powered by a MediaTek chipset, the Helio P10 to be exact, with 8 cores, all based on Cortex-A53 architecture. The 4 big cores can reach up to 2 GHz, while the little cores can hit only 1.1 GHz. With 4 GB of RAM and 64 GB of storage, it fits the gap between proper flagships and ordinary mid-rangers. The MediaTek processor though runs noticeably slower and less responsive than the mainstream Snapdragon processor, the 652 or even the 625. According to our standard apps opening speed test, the Uplay needed slightly more time to open the same cluster of apps than other mainstream mid-rangers. In the second round, backed with 4 GB of RAM, the Uplay had no issue storing apps like Facebook and Instagram in memories. It is not flagship-like smooth, but usable. Games, however, the Uplay killed all 3 of them, and had to reload them one by one, resulted in the much slower than average lap time. Gaming with the dual-core Mali T860 GPU is also far from playable. If you are looking for a mid-ranger with the best possible processing power, the Uplay is not on your list. However, for those who are less performance-oriented, the only thing that will do on a smartphone is scrolling along the Facebook timeline. The Uplay offers respectable smoothness. Unlike some other mid-rangers, HTC has given the Uplay some amazing optics. The sensor itself packs 16 megapixels with 1 micron pixels and an f2.0 aperture lens with optical image stabilization. Almost all the features we've found on the U Ultra are also here, including Auto HDR, nice job HTC, Zoe camera, hyperlapse and panorama as usual. The only thing it has overlooked is slow motion, but there we have the handy Pro mode with access to manual ISO white balance, manual focus and most importantly manual shutter speed, up to 2 seconds. We are getting up to 16 seconds on the U Ultra, but 2 seconds long enough for handheld, noise-free low-light photography. The surprising bit, however, is on the front. It packs the same 16 megapixels camera as the HTC U Ultra, with 1 micron pixels size, and an f2.0 aperture lens. What amazed me though was the same ultra pixel mode, which combines 4 pixels to 1 in order to boost its low-light performance. For extreme dark environment, Savvy Flash also here. While Auto HDR on the front camera, it is indeed a fantastic, but rare feature, even on flagship phones. All the hardware and software allow the Uplay shoots as crisp and astonishing selfies as the U Ultra. Or the main thing, the rear camera. With Auto HDR support, under good lighting, broad daylight, the Uplay captures well-exposed and balanced natural photos even in some of the most extreme backlight scenes. With 16 megapixels, it captures some really sharp and detailed images. Now compared to the U Ultra directly, the Uplay tends to give even brighter shadows than its bigger brother. The 12 megapixels camera on the U Ultra though holds up really well in capturing all the details. Basically, the white balance is the major difference. again indoor, but with limited light sources this time around. The U Ultra gives slightly higher color saturation and with stunning details. It captures simply everything it sees, sometimes even better than our eyesight. Between sunset and the dark arrives, the difference becomes more noticeable. There's nothing to do with digital noise and details, but the white balance and color reproduction instead. During this period of the day, the U Play suffers from a reddish-white balance. The U Ultra, on contrary, gives much more vibrant, accurate and well-defined colors. For now, if you've noticed the white balance gone wrong, switch to the Pro mode and adjust it in Kelvin. Low-light performance, however, with the aid of optical image stabilization, the U Play shoots even comparable night scenes to the U Ultra, which is one of the best camera phones out there. Backed with optical image stabilization, handheld videos are also well stabilized, not only when I hold it as stable as I can, but also while walking. Overall, from good lighting to low-light scenes, the U Play handles digital noise like a flagship phone, with comparable amount of details and dynamic range to the U Ultra. Video stabilization is also far better than most mid-rangers. The only concern would be the reddish tint during the sunset hours of the day. Multimedia Experience, the 5.2 inches 1080p display on the U Ultra is based on the same technology we've found on the U Ultra. Super LCD 5, squeezing 428 pixels per inch. It is for sure as sharp as we've expected. Viewing angles great, colors are also vibrant. Unfortunately, outdoor visibility is mediocre. And if we look close enough, there are some sort of patterns or lines wherever the display shows pure white. It is minor and you probably won't notice it in day-to-day media consumption, so it's fine. The greenish tint, however, if we put it right next to the U Ultra, which has one of the best LCD displays, you will find the screen is much dimmer and is greenish. The single down-firing speaker is also a little disappointment. You know, HTC means dual speaker for most people, me included. But anyway, it gives adequate volume with respectable audio quality. Audio output headphones in contrast. Yep, it lacks 3.5mm headphone jack, but you will be thrilled by how awesome it sounds if you grab the official converter as well. HTC's actually squeezed a 24-bit dedicated DAC inside the converter. So you play with the converter drives my XP-A3 even better than the mainstream flagships, including the Pixel and the S7 Edge, generating much higher volume with the same setting on the phone. Soundstage is incredibly wide, with crystal clear high frequencies and adequate but not exaggerated bass. Unfortunately, the feature that adapts to an individual's hearing and optimizes audio output automatically, the HTC U Sonic, only works with the original included U Sonic earphones. Generally speaking, the display is vibrant, with over 400 pixels per inch. Audio quality to headphones is fabulous, but the greenish-white balance and the single down-firing speaker. Before we wrap the things up, let's check out the battery life. A 2500 mAh battery for a 5.2 inches sized phone, average or slightly below the average. According to the standard battery life test, the U Play drained 78% of the battery after 4 hours of YouTube videos playback at maximum screen brightness. While for the more all-rounded test, after 1 hour of YouTube videos playback at 50% brightness, another hour of Facebook scrolling, and an hour of Clash Royale gameplay, altogether 3 hours of media consumption. Again, drained almost the exact same percent of the battery as the U Ultra did. Needless to say, battery life is the downside of HTC's phones. All in all, it shares the exact same design and build quality as the U Ultra. Among LG, Samsung, even Sony and Apple that built really gorgeous looking mid-ranger phones, the HTC U Play is the only one that reaches the same level of craftsmanship as its flagship sibling. The Usonic earphones included is also a nice touch, same as the official digital to analog converter that you have to buy. A really promising camera that captures comparable details and dynamic range to the U Ultra. Oh, and the front cameras without a doubt, the absolute best selfie camera in the market. But still, it is far from flawless. The MediaTek chipset delivers zero capability of playing modern 3D games. The greenish display, the single downfiring speaker, the camera that suffers from a reddish-white balance during the sunset golden magic time period. It could be fixed via future update or simply fix it manually with Pro mode. The battery life, however, is certainly not the best performer out there. Still, it's a mid-ranger. The target are mainly casual and light users. In this perspective, battery life and processing power would be less important. In contrast, the design, the build quality, multimedia experience, maybe the selfie camera as well, which the U plays totally good at, will be on the top of your list. So pretty much it. That's it for today. Hope you all enjoyed watching this video. Like it if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe. There are also 2 more videos here for you to click to watch next. See you next time.